Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Preview for Wednesday, the 9th of September 2015. Already on to Wednesday because we had the Monday holiday here in the U.S. Volume was a little light on Tuesday, not as bad as last Friday leading into the long weekend, but it sometimes takes a day for everybody to get back. Remember, this is the traditional end of summer, so we should start to build now towards some better volume in general. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. We had a big gap up this morning. You'll see that better when I show you the intraday charts. It wasn't a very tradable day, to be honest. The volume was light. The action was fairly limited and contained. We did not even trade average daily range once we opened on the futures. So it was less than a normal day. We had some decent stuff still. Rich had a nice call in REGN late in the session or in the second half of the day that worked for a couple points and stuff like that. We had the futures winners and the Forex winner. So it's a good start to the week, but certainly we could see better excitement here if something else, if volume were to pick up. All right, so what did we get for the session? S&P up 48, the NASDAQ 100 index up 118. Now here you can see a little better the gap that occurred. So we had Friday gap down and held, and then today, Tuesday, gap up and held. Doesn't really answer any of our questions about where the market's going, of course. The SOX made its best showing, gaining 26 points, best close in about 3 weeks. Biotech's up 147. Also a decent close there. The VIX was down $2.90. Here's a look at the trend. Finally got a low reading there at 0.38 after the 10-day moving average had been ticking way up. I kept that one reading way up near 5 one day. That's going to hold the average up for a while, well, at least for another 4 or 5 days until it drops off the moving average. NASDAQ volume closed the session, like I said, 1.6. Better than Friday's 1.45, but worse than everything else that we've seen in the last week or two. So I do expect that to improve. Obviously, advancers beat decliners when we have a gap up and hold like that. There was 1,672 more stocks up than down on the NASDAQ and 1,801 more up than down on the New York for the session. Google added back almost 15 points, reversing out what had happened on Friday. Apple added back 3. Amazon was up 18. Again, a lot of these with a gap. Netflix was the interesting one. It did gap up with the market, but then it sold off sharply right out of the gate. It was probably the biggest mover early on. All right, so here's a look at the ES front month futures contract in 5-minute candles. Now, keep in mind, you'll see like a partial day with no volume there. That was Monday, Labor Day. The futures market's open for a couple hours. Obviously, nobody trades it. So really what you have to look at is Friday's close around 1920 to the open over 1950. It's a 35-point gap on the ES. And we tried to push a little higher, came back down. By lunchtime, we were exactly flat from where we'd started. Going into the second half of the day, we were, again, flat from where we started. And then we rose for the last 2 hours. We did close at near highs, so that action happened late in the day. NASDAQ side, take a look, pretty similar. So again, those gaps have to go back and fill at some point in time, usually within 5 days. So we'll be looking for that. And in terms of economic data, we didn't have much on Tuesday. Wednesday, nothing really. MBA mortgage index and JOLTS job openings. Thursday and Friday, there's a little more data, but it's not a data-heavy week. Friday is the anniversary, the 14-year anniversary of 9/11. Hard to believe it's been that long, but it is the anniversary. So that could be a little bit slow, I'm sure, with things going on in New York. So the hope, of course, is, as we stated coming into the week, that Wednesday and Thursday are the more active days, and we will see if that holds true and what we get out of that. So I'll be looking forward to that. We'll have new calls posted, of course, in the report, and making extra calls in the Twitter feed for those who are either on trial or are subscribers. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading Wednesday.